Got a kayak. Public, it's not made for kids. Ultra low, DVR, create broadcast and start streaming. Yeah. Let's see if this brings YouTube out. But if YouTube doesn't want to cooperate, we'll just have a TikTok only stream. That way YouTube can know what it's like to be left behind because of their platform's tech issues. I also don't think I'm going to bring all my gear out there just to minimize the number of hooks in this inflatable. But I do want to go pretty far down the Deschutes arm. Like back when I was in outrigger paddling, which is what I kind of replaced kayaking with, we would go miles. Like a big race is 7 miles, and it's not as nice. Okay, YouTube is connected now, just in case any of you prefer that platform. Interesting. Like the big difference between YouTube and TikTok is that YouTube gets to see their own chat replays. They can kind of control the audio. They also, since it's being viewed on a computer, I put everything in a frame. So you have a little bit more, like, you can see it better. Yeah, this generally looks nicer. What's leaking? Hang on one second, I'm gonna need a little. This one, it looks like it wants some kind of O-ring action. It's going psss. It's upside down. The main reason I took away the YouTube chat replay, by the way, if you want a little bit of lore, it's because the YouTube people kept making fun of TikTok. And the TikTok was always so supportive of YouTube that I was just like, you know, I'm kind of fine with banter, but only if that banter is two-way banter. If it's just a bunch of people on one platform saying, look how much better we are than someone else, that's kind of where I'm like, no. Let's not do that, please. Come on. Is this gonna work now? There we go. How's it going, TV Static? I'm glad you're back. See, TV Static, that's exactly why TikTok can no longer see YouTube chat. He's just talking trash again. I'm gonna go update their background to something a little... Let's see. That image looks really nice. And I thought that was the ODFW people that I'm hiding from. Okay, there we go. Sounds like they found me. Curses. Dude, they had like full-on sheriffs down checking people's stuff. So I'm just gonna triple check that everything I have is legal here before I go. Like I have all my paperwork and stuff with me. because I don't want to be stopped on the boat and having to like deal with it. What do you guys think? Should I bring a fish finder? So they're asking about my Instagram accounts. My Instagram account was a little spicier than my TikTok account. It was not the most appropriate. I would make pretty horrible comments to people kind of regularly, just because I found it funny. And I would also get reported a lot, just because the culture there is a little bit different on Instagram. So I get reported for shit that I didn't do. I don't know. Kind of the way I see it is, I feel like I just was too controversial of a figure. And this was at the same time where I was like, people were writing news articles about the catfishing series. So they're probably getting like bad press about it. They're probably constantly getting mass reports on my account. And then they look into my account and see that my streams literally let kids play blackjack with points they earn by watching the stream. And then they were probably like, nah, this guy's too much. That's at least my theory, my interpretation of everything. I could be completely wrong. It could be that they were getting like pressure from Hinge or like Tinder or something to do something about my account. It could be nothing at all. It could just be advertisers didn't like it. It could be like Hinge buys a ton of ads. Let's see where about the rest would go. Probably about there. That's a good point. And don't worry, I'll put on socks so you guys aren't staring at my feet like a bunch of weirdos. There we go. Yeah, that's the motion. Okay. And then just on TikTok, since it's, you know, more tailored towards kids as a platform, I've just been a lot more careful about the kinds of things I say. I try to be less controversial. I try to, you know, I've always tried to be politically neutral, but I'm just really making that a big point of effort nowadays. You never know who's reporting your account. I'm going to be honest, I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about with the contender stuff. But no. Okay. What do you think, chat? Should I pre-build the rigs so I don't have a bunch of... I think it's a good idea to pre-build all the rigs so I don't have sharps in my boat. Definitely big. Yeah, we are in Lake Billy today. Go north and ice fish? Then I gotta get permits and shit. Oh, this one's leaking too. Where's it leaking from? Well, that's embarrassing. That was just pumping air to nowhere. It's just sending air into the void. All right, our primary target today is going to be kokanee and I guess kind of bull trout. So what I'm going to do for this rig is I'm going to have probably single hook. I think I'm going to go single hook dropper for the corn, and then go into a probably a 6 or 7 ounce weight, and then swivel and rooster tail off that. So it's going to be a relatively long rig. But like the whole point is I don't want the what's it called? I want the kokanee to have a small hook. Actually, I'll go decent sized hooks on this. I'm going to be on the water until the weather turns. Or until it gets like shitty. I'm pretty confident in like bad weather. Just because, again, I used to race these things on open oceans. Like, I'm out of shape. Don't get me wrong. I am not in good enough shape to be, what's it called? Like, getting myself into trouble. But you guys saw that other stream when my motor gave out. I was able to just on that like little emergency paddle my way back across the wind. Just on pure muscle memory alone. Pure muscle memory and hatred. We'll use a 6 ounce sinker. Yeah, I'm going to take this thing out into the Oregon Ocean at some point. That's kind of my big goal for this, is to just figure out how to fish with it. Make sure I understand. It's like everything with a boat like this. It's all about understanding the limits, understanding how it works, getting a feel for it, and then doing something kind of reckless, only after you're like fully prepared. It's that old saying, there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad preparation. I've also been watching a bunch of videos on like how to land a lingcod on a kayak. So that way if I do get like a really large fish, I'll actually know what to do in advance. But the thing is, like anything like halibut size or like a tank lingcod, there's no way I can fight it up and bring it in. Okay. Ow. Okay, so now I just need a swivel. And the whole point of the swivel is, where the hell are my swivels? There's a swivel. That's a big swivel, though. Average lingcod here is in the ballpark of 30 to 40 inches for a nice one. Obviously, there's smaller lings as well, but it's not like the Alaska lings where you're pulling in a 60-inch behemoth. That said, I have seen people just on the North Jetty in 30 feet of water catch tanks. The largest I've personally seen is just some guy. He apparently catches them all the time. He has like this technique. I always see him on the North Jetty at Newport, and this dude's an animal. The last time I saw him, he had a 42 and a 44-inch ling, and he's like, good enough, and that's when he went home. Like, he was tossing lingcod back. A total crackhead, because he wanted a bigger one. And then this is probably a good spinner for the bull trout. Bull trout are legal. 40-incher would be horrible on a kayak. No, we're not gambling at all, bro. I turned off all the gambling bots. Again, I'm pretty sure that's why I'm banned. I'm not sure. My bots are approved on YouTube. But I don't know, man. They might not have reviewed it. Because I don't have any sort of age verification checks for the gambling side of my bots. Which, you know, in hindsight, like, I know certain platforms like Twitch encourage it. But I don't know. I also kind of thought about it. I would rather be known as the guy who fishes than the guy you can bet money on. Or it's not even money, it's like stream points. But I'd still rather be known as the guy you watch for fishing content, not the guy you watch to get a gambling fix in. It is what it is. I also, by the way, don't know why I'm demonetized on TikTok still. I've had no communication about that. Yeah, I hear that there's like no points, no value for the gambling side of things. But also you got to think about it from, you know, like a parent's perspective. You wouldn't want an 8-year-old getting a gambling addiction. And, you know, I don't want to be... I kind of also thought about it this way, like, what happens if somebody gets, like, a big high? Like that Ethan kid. Remember that Ethan kid who bet, like, 10 correct answers in a row and ended up with millions of points? Like, I don't want him to take that high and take it to a casino when he's 18 and lose, like, real money. That would be, like, a really bad outcome. For, like, his life. If I found out about it, I would feel really shitty. And I'm sure, you know, platforms like YouTube and TikTok, they think about those things where I'm not profiting, but that doesn't mean nobody will ever take advantage of these individuals who are developing an affinity for something that can be really destructive. You know, this is actually probably a really bad placement. Wait, where did I put the... I just had the... Where the hell are the bungees? I just had them. Oh, there they are. And again, you guys usually don't see this setup. I was gonna go to this one park, and there was just a ton of like state and federal, or just state guys. Shit. Yeah, the weather here's pretty dog today. No, this is a really bad idea. It's supposed to kind of storm, but not too bad. Not bad enough that I'm scared. Where do I want to put this? Yeah, and like, generally speaking, the worst thing to happen for a gambling addiction is you win early. And that's why all the sites like, what's it called? What are those sites? You know, shit, my brain's not working. Someone help me out. Swap this one out. Sites like the betting. God damn, my brain's so struggling right now. DraftKings and stuff. They'll give you like free bets and let you rebet until you win. And then they'll give you that money. Yeah, JC, I'm talking to YouTube chat right now. I'm on both YouTube and TikTok. But they'll like give you that money and then let you bet again. And often they'll try to get you to win a couple times. And then only after you've won a couple times, that's when they start going crazy with like the recommendations. And they just want you to keep chasing that dragon, that one high of being right. Or like Kali, the app where you can bet on like literally everything. That's what they do as well. And it's unfortunately like a super effective strategy for getting people addicted to gambling. Yeah, so the TikTok chat, I can only text-to-speech YouTube chat. So that's why I'm more interactive with them. But I do occasionally read what you guys are saying just to make sure I'm not like totally leaving you in the dust. TikTok has a lot stricter privacy rules. So I'm not allowed to just like programmatically read your chat and talk to you that way. If you guys notice, like my hands are totally free for most of this. So, you know, unless I actually take the time to stop and open up the app, it's hard for me to see what you guys are saying. God, I'm so fucking stupid. I have to put the fin on. I have to put the fin on, and the fin's on the bottom, and I just installed all that. Okay, what do I need? I need pliers, for sure. I need a tape, because I have to record measurements on this place. If I lose my rig, which is actually very unlikely, I can just come back. So I'm gonna keep this in here. That'll be there. Do I bring the fish finder? That's the $1 million question. The fish finder is not... fish finder. The fish finder greatly increases the chance we get kokanee. But I have no idea how to like... Here. Let's just bring it out. All of the chats that get sent. And if the chat is sent by anybody other than myself, it works. The main reason I don't really... Oh, I need a net. This will be a really silly thing to forget. Yeah, so essentially there's a command that goes out to YouTube every 5 seconds and says, do I have any new messages? And if I do have a new message, it then checks who sent that message. Did I send it or did somebody else send it? And if somebody else sent the message, it'll then go, okay, well, somebody else is trying to type. I'm going to connect to Discord with a text-to-speech client and send the message through. So this fish finder, if you guys remember my old boat, it would sit in the grate like this, face down, and that's how I would get the fish. But I don't... Now that the motor's broken and I don't really trust the motor anymore, I don't think we're going to use that boat very much. So I'm just going to take apart this thing and we'll figure out how to attach it to the kayak. God, I tied this tight. There we go. I'm the papa. And this should just be glued on. we need to pop the glue like this. This is a kind of expensive piece of equipment though, so I'm going to be nicer to it than I normally am. There we go. Alright, let's cut. Hopefully this one isn't as tight. It doesn't look like it. For this boat, since I do want to take it out to the ocean, I'm thinking of building a little Yako for it. And then the little Yako will be able to hold the fish finder in the future. So I think probably if I just, oh my god, fuck you. Like toss this down over the side somehow. But when I'm moving, it's going to be obnoxious. So this might just be something I have to use while stationary. So we'll put it here. I'll see how it works. We'll bring the battery. The main thing that's going to be annoying is the battery for it's really large. And I ordered a much smaller battery that's coming on Monday. But that battery is going to be... The one right now is just heavy. Let's put this stuff back. Let's grab the battery. See, like this is what I'm going to have to use with the fish finder today. Just a big marine battery. Don't entirely know where it should go. Probably should go in the back if there's any more space back here. Somewhere like that's probably ideal. And then we just strap it in really well. The bungee. But that's also how like if you do exclamation volume down, for example, on the YouTube bot, that's how it's recognizing that there's a command and reducing the volume. It's that same principle. TikTok chat's really dead today. That's unusual. Usually TikTok's where all the party is. Yeah, this is not going well. Here, let's go see what I even have in here. Because I brought my whole little kit. This one's short. That one's still too long. I might just use a slightly longer one and double it up, maybe? That could be a good idea. Like this. Because again, I really don't want this thing moving. Yeah, there we go. You know, you say that, but my biggest stream ever on TikTok was the stream where I processed a deer. Like, I was taking all the deer meat and cutting it up into chunks and jerky and burger and stuff. I peaked at 150 viewers. And that was very low stimulation, but I guess it's just something that they've never ever seen before. And they're like, what the hell is happening on TikTok today? You know, even though as a kind of redneck person, it's pretty normal to take apart a deer. It's not like every person's experience in life is seeing how their food is made. And then people were making... It was really weird how like people were so grossed out by it in some cases. And I was talking about how it's like premium meat, and they're like, lol, premium meat. I'm like, people pay $20 a pound for venison. What are you talking about? You know? But it's just different culture. If you don't if you're not exposed to it and all the food you eat comes from a supermarket and you never think about where it came from, a guy pulling apart the deer is a really weird thing to see. All right. It might also have something to do with the fact that I cut myself and people were talking about that. People kept asking why my hand was bleeding, if I was okay, which, you know, obviously wasn't intentional, but probably was really good for engagement. Okay, so if the battery's back here, how do I want to do this? Here. Wait, what? I don't know what I said that was confusing. I got... How bad was the cut? The cut was pretty deep. It's scarred. Okay. No. Why did I bring the paddles? I feel like a rocket scientist today, chat. Let's see. Hang on, let me try to figure this out where I want it to be. So push, push, probably there. There. Push, 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 push. Yeah, that should be fun. Is that a shorter paddle than I'm used to? Again, when you're racing, you tend to have really big, oversized shit for more leverage. Okay. I have my batteries. I do. Okay. All right, chat, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna move the car, and I need you all to keep an eye on the kayak for me. Because if I leave my stuff, take my stuff too far away from the kayak at this point, it's all gonna disconnect. I'll be back in about 3 to 4 minutes. Just try to be entertaining. And try not to be weird while I'm gone. That would actually be really helpful. Oh, I also just totally cleared the TikTok chat while trying to read it. Hi, TikTok. I'll be back, TikTok. Hello, chat. Give me a second to put everything back on. And whoever said to tell me when you're back, I'm back. Remember, volume controls the... It increases the music volume, not the me volume. If you want me to be louder, do volume down. And you'll probably need to do it twice. All right. One of the fun things I've been planning... Yeah, I can hear you. My audio is independent of everything else. So that's really important, so that way people don't just start spamming slurs while I'm gone. I've thought of everything. Almost everything. I'm sure I haven't thought of everything, but still. Okay, let's move this over. Oh, this is a heavy-ass kayak. Gotcha. I just say that because a lot of people think the volume command controls me, not the music. So I just said that as a reminder. Okay. We're gonna put the rod together real fast. I'll do one corn, one worm, one rooster tail. So 3 hooks in total. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Come on. This worm's volunteering. Very nice worm. This corn is volunteering. Is this worm even alive? Yeah, it is. Okay. Okay. Ow. I've caught some pretty big lings. I don't actually have any good measurements on the big fish I've caught, because I usually end up filleting them before I can get a measurement off. But I've never caught anything crazy like a lua. My biggest fish are probably in the ballpark of like 6 or 7 pounds. Oh God, I said the number. Chat, did you know that and that's why you asked? I'm always so suspicious of chat. Because I started watching streams. I caught a bunch that were like 30 inchers. 4 of these. So if I start here, 1, 2, 4, so about that big in terms of fish. I've caught a lot in that size range. I haven't caught any 40 inchers yet. I'm still waiting for the day I get a 40-inch ling. That's gonna be fun. But in Oregon, they're really rare. In Oregon, they don't live as long as they do in like Alaska. I've also never targeted the really big species like halibuts or Chinook salmons or things like that. Come on, here we go. Come on. This stupid thing. There we go. Nice. And let's put on some socks before y'all yell at me about my feet for whatever weird ass reason. It's like, yes, I have climber feet. They're disgusting and they don't have toenails. I don't need to hear it from you guys today. Nice. I really hope I didn't just soak a bunch of electronics. Nope. I'm gonna move this further away from the back, just to be sure. And this is our kind of crackhead rig. Got to be really careful not to let any of these hooks down onto the inflatable part. Oh, this thing's giga stable. Hell yeah. This is nothing like an Epic. Oh yeah, like again, where I come from, everyone's barefoot all the time. So it's just a weird culture difference to me. Where it's like, I can't imagine caring about feet. Come on. So this is how you center your kayak, your paddle. I love how I can go faster on this thing than I can in my motorized boat. Okay. This is genuinely faster than my motorboat. Dude, I got this thing for a steal. I got it for 500 bucks. They're 1,500 new. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to use... It's going to be a little weird. Bring this up. Let's drop. Push you around. There. The water here is super nice. Probably about there is where it should be. Yeah, I mean, I said it before, me and Brooke both make decent money, especially since we don't have kids. So, I have money to spend on these little adventures and stuff. How'd I get it for 500? I was nice, polite, I showed up on time, I didn't give the seller any heartaches, I waited for a good price to appear on Facebook Marketplace. That's the thing, like people are so on Facebook Marketplace are so used to bullshit, like people lowballing the fuck out of them, that if you're just polite, respectful, and professional the whole time, people are just gonna be like, fuck, get this thing. He's paying good money. I'll give it to him for 500 instead of 700. Because I'll show up, I'll make your life easy. I'm not gonna haggle. You say you want Venmo, I have Venmo. You say you want cash, I offer you cash. It's like, just be nice to people. Treat them like they have something you want. And you'll do well. Okay. I love this boat already. This brings back memories. It is rare, but again, if you're willing to drive and you're willing to have a large search, rare things are common. If you went on Facebook right now, you wouldn't find this deal. But if you checked Facebook once a week, or like twice a week for a couple of months, you'd find it. Yeah, just letting out. Yeah, nice maxing, exactly. You'd be surprised how far just being like a chill human being gets you in life. Just being able to put in like a little bit of effort. And if you don't mind a little bit of venting, that's why I'm so pissed off at TikTok right now, because they're not communicating with me. Come on. Probably like that, maybe? It's a little awkward footing. No, that's not gonna work. I want my full range of motion. I'm also not doing the proper technique on purpose to try to keep the camera a little bit stable. But if I do need to like go against the wind, I'll switch into race mode and start cleaning up. Okay. So I think the way I'm gonna handle the fish finder is I'm gonna turn her on now. And I'm just gonna like stick this in the water for a bit, see if we have a school. We are 138 feet deep, by the way. This is what a fish finder looks like, chat. That's what a real one looks like, at least. What we're looking for is just like signs of fish. The main one I'm trying to target is called a kokanee. It's like a little salmon. They form big schools and they really love corn. So you guys see those like little patches kind of around 75 feet deep? That might be something, but it looks really noisy, so I don't think it is anything. Oh, actually there is a... Look at this. That might be my weight though. I'm not really seeing anything. Yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of noise, unfortunately. And that noise is probably caused by it moving. Like, watch me move it a little bit. Look, we don't talk about not catching kokanee. Yeah, not seeing anything down here. So I'm gonna move on to a different spot. And this whole time I'm just trolling I have a worm, I have corn, and I've got a, what's it called? Worm, corn, and a rooster tail. So we might just be able to get lucky on like a passing bull trout. But I do kind of want to go into the canyon a little bit. The canyon looks pretty fun. I do need to get a rod holder for this though. Because my rod's kind of slipping. By the way, bull trout in this lake are legal if they're over 24 inches. It's one of the few spots in the United States where you're allowed to keep them. Because they're an endangered species, but there's enough of them in this lake that it's okay to keep. There's like a special exemption for it. And they taste like salmon. There's also sockeye salmon in here. Which is kind of interesting. When they filled up the reservoir, the sockeye stopped running. Which is kind of a bummer if you're a river fisherman. But now they're all up in here in the lake. It's kind of cruising around. The sockeye though, since they're like a special fish, are catch and release only. It's also not super common you catch them. I've personally never had one, but they also like to be really deep. Yeah, there's tons of fish. There's bass, brook, rainbows. I think my TikTok's about to go down, by the way. Yeah, I love salmon. They're so tasty. That's like the main reason I came here instead of going back to Ochiko, where I caught the trout the other weekend. It's because Ochiko don't have salmon. I have not caught anything yet, Jacob. Unable to verify, please try again. Oh my god, this stupid puzzle when you're remoting in is so hard. There it goes. Hello, Vaughn, how's it going? I'm not on Tinder right now, so you got by someone else, by the way. Ugh. I was on Tinder. Oh, I just saw. Hold up. I just saw a bull trout. Or it might have been a brown. Browns kind of look the same. Sorry, Brooks kind of look the same. Couldn't really tell with the glare, but I saw him right around here. Let's see if he'll go for the rooster tail. In the winter, I'm lucky if I get one. Except for on the ocean. In the ocean, I usually do pretty well. I have not caught, by the way, spoilers for the next couple of catfishing episodes. I've not caught a single perch this year. Let's see if it takes it. Also, let's see if it's around. I'm gonna put the fish finder down. Unc, what are you doing here? We are looking for kokanee and bulls. Come on, fishy finder. It's 200 feet deep here. Hunk is not trying to catch a great white, by the way. So we saw the fish. Let's see if it's... Sometimes they hunt kokanee, so they can be a good tell for kokanee. Oh yeah, he's down there at 40. Yeah, there's stuff all the way at the bottom. I kind of don't want to send my bait all the way to the bottom. Also, whatever it is, it's moving. We're trying to catch kokanee, but I haven't seen any yet. Here, chat, I'll let you guys look at the fish finder with me. It looks like that might be vegetation at the bottom, actually. That might not be fish. I'm still learning how to read these, by the way. No, dude, there's definitely a fish. Hang on, I'm gonna go try. There's a fish like 20 feet down. I'm gonna try get him. I saw the fish a couple times, so let's just see if we can get him to take the bait. This is when I kind of wish I had a depth gauge, because I have no idea how deep I am right now. This spot is not somewhere I've made a vid on. It's downstream of a spot I've made a vid on. It's the same part of a reservoir as one I made a video on. But this specific spot, never. Where's this motherfucker? I think it is a bull. Oh, the glare's way too strong. That's rough. He's not on the fish finder anymore. Let's see him. My paddle's not going to fall in the water, guys. It's a concave boat. Yeah, fish is gone. I'll show you the baits I'm using, though. It's a really ghetto setup. But I have... Oh, that explains why the rooster tail ain't doing shit. Hang on. Fuck. That's what it's supposed to do. So we got... Oh, we were getting bites, though. Look. Look at our corn. Our corn's munched on. So that means at some point... at some point we went by something that eats corn. Probably the brown trout. I'm going to guess that fish I saw was a brown, and he had a bite. And he realized what it was, and that's why he ran off. Don't puncture the thing. Okay, now I'm going to send this down a little bit. I really need a downrigger, by the way. And this is how I'm letting it get a good distance from me. Audio's delayed? Can you tell how much it's delayed by? So like, for example, if I go 1, 2, 3, clap. Again, that's 1, 2, 3, clap. So a downrigger is a heavy weight you hold on a second pole. And then you clip your line to it with a very light clip. So it sinks the bait to a specific depth, and you can control that depth really accurately. And then the bait and the, what do you call? The bait and the rooster tail will always be behind you a fixed distance. If 3 seconds or so, that sounds off. I'll look into that. That's an unusual delay length. By the way, check it out. I can go under the bridge on a satellite connection and not lose service. Just to give you an idea of how over-engineered my setup is. Video's delayed. Yeah, so the thing is on TikTok, and this is just going to be something that TikTok has to deal with. So the audio's early, is what you guys are saying. I'll look into that. I'll look into that the next time I stop. But on TikTok, it's always going to be wrong. Because in order for it to work on TikTok, I have to pump the audio through a cable. So TikTok, the audio can never sync up because of how TikTok processes the mics independently. So that's just going to be a thing on TikTok. I do my best to keep it synced up on YouTube. But yeah, there's really nothing I can do about TikTok. I'm really sorry about that, but that's just the facts. Unless I am working on version 7 of the bot, so maybe I can put like a double pipe into an artificial microphone that I set up in an instance. It'll just get way too confusing. But usually it's pretty close between the YouTube side of things. I will also, by the way, in like 30 minutes, give or take, I'll have to turn off the camera and swap batteries. So any issues that were a result of like desyncs in the camera feed will fix themselves. Yeah, it is the same. Like TikTok has certain advantages and YouTube has certain advantages. Look at this wood. Is this a piece of wood floating here? A little log. Hey chat, I'm showing my wood on stream. I'm at 34% battery on the GoPro, so it's, again, at some point I'll have to switch the GoPro off. All right, let's go get a fish finder down. Let's go see what there is to see. Just whatever you do, don't click the link in my bio, because I'll actually get in trouble for that if too many people click the link in my bio. Because then YouTube or TikTok thinks I'm advertising instead of entertaining. Which I guess to a certain extent I kinda am, but really not. Like I'm just explaining limitations. Yum. Don't really see anything on the fish finder. Yo, floppy fish. Floppy, do you know how to read a fish finder? I feel like you're the person who would know. I don't see anything on here. Okay, let's see if my thing is still getting tangled up. If it is, I'll have to attach the weight in a different way. Okay, good, it's not. That's my attempt at a downrigger, by the way, Floppy, if you want to roast it. Depends on the type. Here, I got this type of fish finder. It's not in the water yet, because I can't really use it while I'm in motion on a kayak. But every time I stop, I go look at it and see if I can see anything. By the way, this area is, I shouldn't really say this, criminally underrated chucker spot. Because past the bridge, hunting's allowed. And there are cluckers here. I wonder if we'll be able to see some. They're not in season right now, so they might be feeling a little braver. But it's also not their feeding time. They are like my, in terms of just like, no, actually it's the scoters. They're my second favorite bird. That's like huntable. But in terms of like being cute and shit, scoters are definitely number one. But chuckers are a close number two. Kind of felt like I had a fish. Okay. And my goal is to kind of put it about 200 feet, so that sounds about right. I should really just make a marking on my line or something where the 200 foot is. But they're really cute. They're like little chickens, and they go when you startle them. They make this really silly noise when they're scared. I mean, I don't really enjoy camping for the sake of camping, but I enjoy being out in nature. And a lot of times the only way you can stay out in nature for multiple days is to camp. But I'm definitely one of those glamour campers where I'll, you know, I don't know if you guys have saw how I can turn my Chevy Bolt into like a car camping setup. More recently though, I've started getting motels because I realized I can expense the motels since I'm making money off of these streams. And then if I'm not paying Social Security taxes or income taxes on the the $50 motel, it's really only like 30 bucks out of my pocket. So it is kind of worth it for me to have a shower. It also makes it a lot easier to edit videos when I'm away from home if I have a motel room. Your home. Puffin? I mean, I'm not surprised you can eat puffins, but I feel like they taste horrible. I feel like they're the coots of Iceland. I make very little from streaming. Like, I probably made about $100 total from streaming. Just from the creator rewards program is where I made, I'll say more than 10,000, less than 20,000. That's probably what I'm allowed to say. So obviously the bulk of my earnings comes from my job. But being able to have something I really enjoy doing that earns money while doing it is also really cool. Because a lot of times when you have something like fishing, it's like, do I want to save up money for something better like a house? Or do I want to live my life and fish a lot? But in my case, it's like I can spend 500 bucks on a boat because the videos I'll make with this boat is going to earn me a lot more than $500. And so the question is not, can I afford a boat? What else would I spend the money on? The question is, how am I going to store the boat? Where am I going to put it? Can I get a bargain on it? I'm not seeing any chukar right now, or quail. There's usually quail around here. I guess it is midday. This is kind of when they like to hide. This is when they're most likely to get eaten by something. So they're usually not. They're usually like up in those rim rocks. Some loser released a bunch of chukar above our house. And the reason I call him a loser is because he then gave his brother or his son-in-law exclusive hunting rights over the entire area. So he basically put a bunch of game animals that everyone knows are there and basically said fuck you to everyone else. And it sucks because his property sections off a lot of BLM land. And if we could get up there, we could hunt on the public land and then he'd be the hero, but nope. Let's put up a bunch of signs that say, no trespassing, all previous permission is void. My son-in-law needs to be able to shoot chukar all by himself without having to go somewhere else or go camping. He needs to be able to do it 20 miles from Bend and no one else is allowed up here because I said so. And to make matters worse, the guy who owns the land is like some New York real estate developer. It's not even like a rancher. He doesn't put he could put cows on the land and make extra money and contribute to the local economy and bring down the prices of beef and feed people and like actually use the land for something socially productive that everyone benefits from. But nope, that land, 640 acres, is just his son-in-law's private little hunting playground. If there was like any land reform kind of thing, that's the one thing I would crack down on. Because I get it if you're a rancher. Like, I get it if you have 2,000 acres and you can't ranch in November because it's too cold. So you make extra money by leasing out, hunting permits and stuff. To me, that's that's kind of fair game. You know, it's kind of a bummer that there's all this wild resources that you're not letting the general public take advantage of. But kinda, you know, if you're managing the land, you kind of earn that privilege, in my opinion. This fucker ain't managing the land. He's not doing anything that benefits me or the neighbors or anything else. He's not giving other people the option to pay to hunt on his land as like a little thing you can take your son to do. Because, you know, that's the other thing. If you have like a 7-year-old child and you want to like show them how to hunt, private hunting is actually like really cool and beneficial, but not even that. It's just closed to everybody who doesn't bang his daughter. If you're not banging his daughter, you can fuck right off. Oh. All right, Floppy, have fun skiing. Ski safe, bro. Okay. Let's go look at the fish finder again. Let it calibrate. What the fuck? Why'd the fish finder turn off? Is it on plug or something? Oh, that's why. Hang on. I figured out why the fish finder turned off, chat. But I'm gonna like make a little... I'm gonna make a little ama for this boat. Actually, I'll probably do that tonight. I might do it on stream too, just for fun. Come on, monitor the live. But then the ama is gonna let me attach the fish finder so I can use it in motion. How did that happen? I must have just pulled on it. There's a lot of noise here. The fish finder doesn't seem to be doing much. So this is what it looks like. We're kind of, all that blue noise is typically like little plant material. Or just it reflecting off the walls or something else like that's weird is happening. What we're kind of looking for is like a yellow fish outline, which I'm not seeing. Okay. My GoPro's at 20%. So realistically, I'm going to be able to paddle to one more spot and then stop. And then that's probably where I'm going to swap the GoPro battery and then come back up. Put Mr. Fish Finder away. Power off. Let's go a little bit more down. Deschutes Canyon. It is winter, so the fish are generally going to be not very active. Remember, fish are cold-blooded, so the colder the water is, the less energy they have, the more it takes to get them moving. Swear to God, is there a fucking motorboat? I'm still trying to hide from the Parks and Rec people, by the way. I don't want to have to get all my paperwork out. By the way, fun fact, that's why, you know how usually like when I start this stream, I'm either almost done putting the boat together or, you know, I'm sometimes even already in the water and starting the stream early. The reason I was a little bit late and what's it called? Didn't have any of the boat assembled is because I got to the spot I wanted to launch at and there's just a bunch of state troopers and ODFW in the parking lot and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this crap today. So I moved to a different part of the reservoir and that's also why I'm going out of the state park into like the boonies because I don't think they're going to check down here. Like that said, I don't have any fish, so if I do get stopped, it's just gonna be like, can I see your waterway access permit? Can I see your license? Have you caught anything? No, sir, no, officer. But I still don't want to deal with that crap. They'll ding you on anything. Where's your life vest? Is your life vest approved by the Coast Guard? Does your life vest fit? Do you know how to put it on? Like, fuck off. Just let me kayak. Oh, look at the birds, little ducks. By the way, this area, you're legally allowed to duck hunt. So next year I'll probably come up here with my gun and just kind of like, unfortunately I can't show that on TikTok at all, but I can on YouTube, just live stream hunting. I might even do that tomorrow because me and Brooke are gonna go goose hunting, but it all is also like our Valentine's Day thing. So I do try to make time for her where we're not doing any sort of video production and I can just focus on her. Oh no, don't get me wrong, it is their job. Like their job is to keep everybody safe and to make sure the resources are being used appropriately. But I am still gonna avoid them when possible. I am still gonna not get involved. I don't know. And again, that's the thing, I probably won't be live, so don't put it on your guys' calendar. Huh, there is quite a big audio delay, isn't there? Oh my God, chat, I just realized something. I never set auto start on the YouTube stream. That's why it never started up. Because usually I just copy the settings from my previous stream, but this time I didn't. This time I just wanted to like, I don't know why I didn't. I was kind of annoyed by the thumbnail, I think. So I just made a new, what's it called, stream from scratch, and I did not turn on auto start, and that's why I was streaming to nothing at the start. Because if auto start is not on, you have to go remote into your computer and push go live. And I never did that. I'm gonna go mess with these ducks. I mean, I am going to go paddle in a safe and prudent direction downriver, which just happens to have ducks in the path. I am not disturbing wildlife. I just want a closer look at these geebles, I'll be honest. This is the Deschutes River Canyon. Oh my god. Yes! Got one. Let's see what we have. Please, no bull. What is that? Actually, don't know what that is. Oh, what the fuck? It's a little rainbow. Sorry about that, little buddy. I'm gonna put him back. Buddy, stop it. Fucking hell, this weight's kind of causing a problem. Open up a little bit, buddy. I don't want to hurt you. I don't think the, what's it called? Oh, that's how you got hooked. That's rough. I don't want to hurt his jaw, so I'm not going to go get the pliers out. And don't worry, I have wet. Stop it. You're going to hurt yourself way worse. Stop that. Stupid fish. There we go. There we go. Look at this little goober. Whoop. Don't. Stop it. Okay. Don't hook yourself. This dumb motherfucker popped right back into the net. Come on, little goober. It does, but I try to be nice to the rainbow trout because they're, I'll only keep big ones. Go on. Look at this little idiot. He got himself hooked. Okay. Or snagged, I should say. There we go. Buddy, stop being dumb. Buddy. Oh my god. Motherfucker. Come on. I'm gonna measure on him before I let him go. He is 8 inches. Little goober. So, don't worry if he looks dead. Rainbow trout do this. They're overly dramatic. There he goes. Goodbye, little goober. Him rotating in your hand like a 7-Eleven hot dog. Yeah, they're not very smart creatures. And I could tell that was not a legal sized, what's it called? Bull, which is why I was saying please no bull trout. Okay. Let's go see how much battery we have left on the GoPro real quick. 10%. Ah. You know what we're gonna do, chat? 10% is still like 10 minutes. We're just gonna set this back down again to make sure everything is all hunky-dory. Reset. And then get this going out behind us again. There we go. I see geese. By the way, guys, how is like the audio quality today? Like, I know the timing's a little off. I'm hoping the timing fixes itself when I reboot everything. But besides the timing, how is like the video and the sound? Is it all nice? Oh, that's a nice. It is, in my opinion, really cool that I can be like my antenna's pointing right at that canyon wall. I'll probably go back down past the boat or the geese and everything, but it is, in my opinion, really sweet that, like, it's just, I don't know how to describe it. It feels like it was just worth all the effort I put into it. And that's a really good feeling. Oh, there go the scoters. Those are scoters. Those are my favorite birds. The scoters have landed with the other flock. That might actually be a big family of scoters. I'm going to go say hi to them real quick. Oh, there they go. Let's see if they'll make the sound. Look at them. Look at them. Look at the little goobers. They're so cute. How much time did I put into what? Oh my God, they're so dumb. They went to hang out with the geese. Don't realize I'm going this way. If you're talking about the stream server that makes all of this possible, hundreds of hours. Like genuinely hundreds of hours over the course of a few years. There was a point at the start of this year where I was doing roughly 4 hours a day after work for about three to 4 weeks nonstop, and it was driving Brooke insane. So those scoters, look at them go. They're going the right direction this time. Oh, those aren't scoters. Never mind. Those weren't scoters. I forget what kind of ducks those are. The other ones were scoters. The big flock was scoters. They're making their way down to the bays, like Newport Bay, or I guess Yakina Bay, or however you say it, and Silts Bay, and they'll form flocks of a few million birds, and that's when they do their annual breeding and reforming of flocks. And they do it because it's the time of the year where the herrings run. So they have like unlimited food. They have a ton of energy because they have unlimited food, and so they do a bunch of really silly things. Scoters are the ones that go when they fly. But like the combination of when they're doing their swarms, they'll like their breeding swarms, there'll be literally hundreds of thousands of scoters in the air at a time. And they'll all be making the noise. It's really silly to watch. There we go. There's the Canada geese I was talking about earlier. Oh shit! Chat, rare geese, rare goose, rare goose. That's a dusky. That's a dusky. Second one from the front's a dusky. Actually, yeah, there we go. There, a couple of them are duskies, I think. Oh, I got another fish on too. They're not super uncommon. You have to watch out for them. Ooh. Hang on, I got something. Ooh, ho, ho. I hope this one's what's it called? This one might be a bull. This is fighting. Broke off. Ah, we'll never know what it was. We'll never know what it was. I think that was a bull. Oh well. Ah, that could have also been a big brown. Actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to keep bulls here. I'll have to read the regs. Because I'm pretty far into the canyon at this point. But I'm gonna need a new worm, so I'm gonna go park over here and go reset. But this part of the canyon seems to be productive. So I'm gonna probably hang out here a little bit. That was either a bull or a brown. Both would have been really tasty. I'd rather look it up because I know exactly where I am. And I'd rather not trust someone else to guess where I am and give me wrong information because they assumed wrong. Yeah, so dusky geese are the protected subspecies of Canada geese. They often hang out with graders. The ones at the front of the, well, the second one was a dusky for sure. The one at the front was a grader. They often hang out together, but they don't breed. They just kind of like do it for safety. And usually you don't see them this far east. But I guess because it's like unseasonably warm, they're coming out here to the farmlands. They usually hang out in the Willamette Valley. And the Willamette Valley is like 50 miles west of us. That said, you do have to be aware of them because they're the felony goose. They're the ones that, like, if you see memes about gooses and like when your bro shows you the big goose he got and you realize it's a $2,500 felony. That's what they're talking about because they look so similar. They behave different though. That's how I spotted it right away. They don't fly the same as regular Canada geese. If you notice, like, the grader was trying to go up and the dusky was trying to go down. and they were like disagreeing about which way is safer. And that's because Duskies, they like to approach low. They don't like to go high. Graders like to go high. They also have slightly different flight patterns, but it's like if you want a goose hunt in the northwest region where there's a bunch of Duskies, ODFW makes you take a test and pass it and identify all the birds. It's like, oh, and their test is really stupid because their test has a bunch of questions like, why were the Duskies endangered? And it really should just be like, which one of these is an Aleutian goose? Yep, there we go. All right. Out of battery. I think you guys can still hear me for a little while I'm out of battery. I don't know for a fact though. So I might just be talking to nobody. But let me just go say, replacing battery, BRB. Okay, you guys can hear. That's good. You guys won't be able to hear when I actually do the big swap, though. So after I switch the battery out, I'm also going to restart the server because I think that's where the audio delay is coming from. So I will go quiet as well as dark in a second. Ugh. All right, I'm done with the battery swap. I'm going to restart the, what do you call, server now. So this is where you won't be able to hear me for a bit. All right, we should be going live soon. Good, did connect. I'll go baby monitor in a second once I fix the antenna. Highberry, make sure it's not erroring. It's a really cute bird. It's not erroring. Close out any desk and then just triple check. Go back. We are back, nice. My server is a little hot, I can tell. But luckily I have an ungodly battery plugged into it today, so it shouldn't run out of juice. In an hour 24, I'll actually run out of GoPro footage, which is going to be fun. And my GoPro will turn back off. But then I can restart the stream and just not record HD. I do think I'm going to be live for a while today. I'm having actually a lot of fun. You're alive. One other thing that's kind of nice about this setup, don't puncture anything, is how little gear you use. I really like this kind of fishing too, where it's just me in a boat. Honestly, like that boat motor braking was really, I think, going to be beneficial for me long term, because it led me to this kayak. Okay. We're gonna head back out. Be nice of Mr. Kayak. But this is like back to my roots. This is like back to having fun in Hawaii. Back to being a teenager. There we go. Why the fuck did the Discord bot disconnect? What the fuck was that all about? I might have to reboot the bot. Give me a second, chat. I am also going to have to do the verification soon again, aren't I? Okay. Could also play some music while I'm here. Let me go do that real fast. Play some music for me. That's a silly bird. It's a woodpecker, I think. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Alright, the wind is getting stronger. So I know the weather is supposed to get progressively worse throughout the day. And even though I've been lucky so far, I think it's probably a good idea to start heading back. Oh, I see a deer. See, here's the hunter in me. You guys see the deer? There's two of them. This might have to be a YouTube video exclusive. Okay, let's drop this down. Okay. It's 2 hours and 1 minute. Yeah, this is about when I need to verify. So I think I'm just gonna kind of like sit here with the bait until I need to verify and do the puzzle. There we go. So in a couple minutes, TikTok's gonna make me do that puzzle thing. And it is, I'm gonna be honest, a little hard to do on a remote server. But it is possible. Oh shit. Chat, I'm not in the reservoir anymore. It's only a couple feet deep here. I do need to get out of here. Otherwise I'm gonna snag with my setup. Oh, I might have a fish on actually. Nope. Yeah, I'm just hitting bottom already. Okay, that's what that is. Okay. Let me get out of here. I didn't realize I was out of the reservoir. By the way, you gotta admit, this is a goated RuneScape song. It's not showing me the puzzle. I really don't want to have to check every 5 minutes. Okay. Here we go. There we go. Alright, just doesn't want to do the puzzle, I guess. Well, I'll check back in a bit. Let me just make sure there's no errors here. Text-to-speech reader. What is my command to fix this issue? It's set TTS, right? There we go. Okay, the audio player is rebooted. Nice. All right, I can hear you again. TV static. I got it fixed. By the way, TV static, or anyone else on YouTube, is the audio delay fixed yet? Here, I'll do a clap test. So 1, 2, 3, clap. And TikTok, I know you're just kind of cucked on this. I'm sorry. There's not a lot I can do about that. Also, it's not showing me the puzzle. It's all good. I'm back into the reservoir, I'm pretty sure now. It looks pretty deep here. So I'm gonna go drop everything down. Gonna make sure nothing's tangled first. It's worse, but do one more? That's weird. Okay. Hang on, I'll do it after I get this sorted. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, clap. 1, 2, 3. Let me know when that clap hits. And then I'll check the SRT audio delay. Yeah, you're right, that is delayed. So the audio comes like a second and a half before. I was doing 99 fishing and an agility task. Hell yeah. Advanced audio properties. SRT audio. Really? So the audio's coming early, right? Well, TikTok, the audio goes through a different pipe. So you guys are always just wrong by kind of unpredictable amounts. There's not really anything I can do about the TikTok audio, unfortunately. The only thing I have control over is the YouTube audio. It's not 6 seconds ahead. I watched it happen, dude. All right. Let's get back to the car, chat. Yeah, I'll do one more in a second. Okay. So I'm going to do like a 3-second countdown and a clap and then count back up. So that way you can try to like time it. So it's 3, 2, 1, clap. 1, 2, 3. How's it going, Alex? You know what would be max neurodivergence content? Getting 99 sailing and fishing in RuneScape. But I can only fish when I'm fishing. I can only sail when I'm in a boat. That would be like autism maxing for sure. Yeah, one of the settings was slightly delayed. Okay. I show up in slippers and y'all give me shit about being able to see my feet. I put socks over the feet so y'all shut the fuck up, and now you're giving me crap about slippers and socks. You guys got to make up your mind. Because I'm not putting on shoes. Not a Venny. I should clarify that is a RuneScape pejorative, not a racial statement. I just realized most of you guys probably don't play RuneScape, so that sounds racist as fuck. Oh, look, scoters. No, those aren't scoters. I still don't know what kind of ducks those are. What if instead of feet, I just show off my meters? I'm gonna go put some distance between me and the line. I don't know, man. People are really weird about feet. I don't get it. It makes me wonder if, like, other cultures where things are, what do you call, taboo. Like, I'm thinking, like, super strict Islamist countries. Like, do people have a weird thing about ears? Because they're always covered. Or is it just feet are different for some reason? Because where I grew up, you always have your feet out. And you never hear shit about, like, foot fetishes or weird things about girls' feet because there's always feet around. And it's just not weird. It would be pretty sick to actually just, like, go fishing with somebody from one of those cultures. They probably wouldn't want to be on my channel, though, honestly. Because I'm genuinely so curious about, like, just what life is like over there. I mean, to a certain extent, everything's just cultural stuff. Like, if you want to know a kind of weird one that's probably going to weird some of you guys out. In Hawaii, it's really common to touch other people's hair that are, like, your friends. Like, it's really common for people to braid each other's hair and shit. And that is a big no-no here. It's like certain groups of people, you're not even supposed to ask them about their hair. And I get there's history behind that, but it's still just, like, again, just a weird thing from my perspective. where it's like it's hair. It's part of your body, just like your shoulder is. You know what I'm actually kind of interested in now that you all got me thinking about it? I want to know what it's like for people in Alaska. I don't know, I just heard it was a thing in Portland. Again, I don't really know what is and isn't widely like a no-no and what's just some kind of crazy person in Portland saying it's a no-no. But my Portland friends, because I asked about it, like I didn't ask to touch a guy's hair, but it was just like, it was really weird to me because I asked about some guy's hair at like a Subway and he was like really offended. I'm like, what the fuck? Like my friend explained, I'm like, that's not a thing you do here. Okay. Oh, yeah, people in Alaska. So they're covered up all the time. Like they don't see any skin. So how do they like, you know, navigate like SoCal where everybody's just dressed skimpy all the time? Like I'm sure if you grew up in Alaska, you didn't see very many girls wearing like tube tops and shit with their bellies exposed. I mean, I guess you might see it in the summer, but again, I don't know about these things. I'm just guessing. It would actually be really cool to talk. That's a big log. Talk to somebody about it and see what's actually going on over there. I feel like there's going to be fish around this log, so I'm going to kind of hug it close. Big fish-like structures like that. So you'll notice I'm like trying to pass by all the buoys and shit. Yeah, chat, look. It's 1 grader, 2 graders, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 duskies. Okay. So the graders are the ones with the white bellies. The duskies are the ones with the brown bellies. They're just hanging out together. By the way, chat, just to give you an idea of like why you really have to be careful hunting, some of those geese are felonies and some of those geese are fair game. And they're in the same flock together. Oh no, a couple more of them are graders than I thought. But they're like mixed in with the duskies. Really gets hot in the summer? Like how hot are we talking? Because even if it's like 55 degrees and sunny, I wouldn't expect many girls to be walking around in light clothing. But again, like this is something I know literally nothing about. Sorry, what was that question? I missed it. What's a weird thing to do in Oregon? Everything in Oregon's weird. What are you talking about, bro? Oregon's a strange place. Nudity is very culturally acceptable here. That's probably the biggest thing. Or like pissing on the side of the road. That's super common here. Just shit like that. Probably the biggest one. We're also a very unique culture. The other weird thing about Oregon you got to think about is it's really 2 cultures. It's Portland and the rest. Someone was asking if you hunt the felony duck and no one sees it, did the felony duck really get hunted? You guys don't know what the felony duck is. The felony duck's a bald eagle because bald eagles will sometimes fly close. Bald eagles will sometimes fly up to duck hunters thinking they're fishermen. Fishermen often toss bald eagles fish. So the bald eagle thinks it's going to get food and it gets blasted because someone thinks it's a duck. One thing you guys kind of got to know about Oregon specifically is that roughly half of the population lives in the Portland metro and roughly half of the population doesn't. And again, I'm saying roughly because how you define the Portland metro actually matters quite a bit. Like if you're counting all the way out past Hillsborough area, then it's 60% of the population versus if you're saying, no, it's just the city and touching cities and it's like 40. But when you have half of the population essentially in a single city and the other half of the population living like kind of like me, you get a really weird mix of ethics and values and politics, and it just makes the whole place pretty cool. I like to say we get the best ideas from both urban and rural life. And then a lot of times those urban and rural ideals clash and causes problems. So it's just kind of a generally weird spot. If you're looking at like Oregon, specifically politics from like a national lens, you'll miss a lot of it. It's just so nuanced in general. Like just on the issue of guns alone, there's a ton of really interesting things where it's like pretty much any adult can go get a shotgun. You just have to pass a really easy test and go like complete a very basic background check. But if you want to get a handgun or like a concealed carry handgun, that's a very different story. Where it's like, you know, you have a right to a deer rifle, but not an inherent right to, you know, something you carry in your purse. And again, it's because a lot of the people in the city hunt, and a lot of the people in the city see gang violence. And then a lot of rural people hunt, and a lot of rural people don't feel a need for like self-defense handgun style. If I was going out back and I wanted a self-defense weapon, I'd bring my 12 gauge because it's a lot easier to hit a snake with a 12 gauge. Yeah, it is also hard to conceal a shotgun, but we are an open carry state. That's the other thing you got to keep in mind. Like, you're just not allowed to brandish. So I could just, even when it's not hunting season, I could just have a shotgun here with a slug. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't get in any trouble. I'm using a GoPro to record the footage, and then I have a mini Linux server behind me with a satellite antenna that processes the stream, like makes the audio quality doable, and then that's sending it out to my home computer. And then my home computer is the thing that's remixing it and broadcasting it out to TikTok and YouTube. But the problem with TikTok is I have much less control over the audio timing than I do on YouTube. So on YouTube, I can feed the sources in with different delays. And that's just not a thing on YouTube, unfortunately. So that's why the TikTok audio timing is always fucked up. Because like, either it's early or it's late and there's really nothing I can do about it. Because it's two different feeds coming in from a satellite connection, getting stitched together in real time. It's not really a lot of instances where you can get a gun, but get in trouble for having the gun. At least not in Oregon. I know every state's different. Anytime. Before you get any fancy ideas, if you stream with just a Starlink satellite, you will not get nice connection like this. It's the Linux server is doing a ton of heavy lifting. And it's a server I had to program myself. These things are not commercially available. I thought about selling them, honestly. But then I'd have to deal with returns and bullshit like that. And they're not waterproof in the slightest. So you're gonna run into all sorts of problems. And then one of the pieces of software I use on the server says I'm not allowed to make software that I sell. So I can't like lock down the software and say, you know, you have to, it's a monthly fee to use the server. Not that I would do that anyway, but then legally there's nothing stopping anyone who just buys the server from just downloading the SD card and copying all the code. Because again, I have to make, if I'm going to make the code available, it has to also be free. So, you know, I wouldn't be able to copyright my own code. And it just seems like it would be too much of a headache. By the way, it's still not giving me the puzzle. I do like flounder. I like pretty much every fish. I'm a little iffy on eel, but even that's not too bad. I don't think I've ever, now I think about it, in terms of fish, I don't ever think I've had a fish that was like gross. I mean, I'm sure there are fish you shouldn't eat, and I'm sure if I ate it, I would find it gross. Like bonefish, for example. I bet I wouldn't like bonefish very much. It smells nasty. We turn it into, our cat really loves bonefish, so I end up cooking it quite often. That reminds me, I need a new food processor. I mean, that's just your personal preference. Like, there's some fish that taste really strange, but it doesn't matter how strange it tastes, there's always a way to prepare it. Like, a good example of that would be rainbow perch. Rainbow perch is a weird fish. Like, you don't want to grill it. But if you, instead of grilling it, turn it into fish soup with a bunch of like Chinese spices and sauces, it is so fucking good. You basically just treat it like a tilapia. Hang on, I'm gonna get some speed real quick. This part's windy. Sorry for the camera quality. I just wanted to get out of that little section because the wind was annoying me. I think I'm just gonna float around this structure for a bit. There's no fish on, that's just my weight. Hello. Oh my goodness. Well, that's kind of funny. Send it down to around, that looks good. Yeah, just gonna float around here. I'm actually pretty close to the car right now, so I'm not too worried about the weather changing anymore. I think I kind of just want to chill for a bit. I'm sure oarfish are edible, but it's just not worth it to try to fish them. Also, I feel like if you did try to fish them, that would be so many years of bad luck. And I know this RuneScape music's really popping off. Hang on, chat, was there an echo on the audio for TikTok people? And let me know if that echo's now gone. I might have screwed something up. TikTok quote-unquote people. I think you're thinking of Kumu Humu Nuku Nuku Aqua. They are edible, but not super tasty. Unless you're talking about now Willy Willy Nuku Nuku Oi Oi, which are also edible, but usually bait fish. Can anyone in TikTok just let me know if, what's it called? There was an audio glitch where it was playing audio twice? And if there was, did I fix it? Because I think I see something that could have caused a bug. It might not have. I might just be totally out of control. What were those names? No echo. Okay. I think someone would have mentioned the echo if it was there. But Humu Humu. The Humu Humu Nuku Nuku Apua is the orange color fish that likes to attack you if you swim too close to it. They're really mean. I don't know why they're the state fish. They're such cunts. They're real asshole fish. And the Na Willy Willy Nuku Nuku Oi Oi is the yellow and black fish that forms big schools and is really nice. But they are like the bait fish. They're like the herring. Well, they're not. They're obviously not herring. We actually do have like, oh, what are they called? I can't remember what the herring are called. They have a simple name. Yeah, they're tigerfish. They're a kind of tigerfish. They're real assholes, though. Actually, I think most tigerfish are kind of assholes. No, they're not hairy. The hairy fish I think you're thinking of are pufferfish, and they're also pretty mean. The big like square-looking ones are pufferfish. Yeah, it's a different language, dude. But they're like an F-tier fish, I'm going to be honest with you. Because they're mean, they don't taste good, and they always try to eat your food. And these motherfuckers will destroy their teeth chewing through your pliers while you're trying to unhook them. Like, they're real turbo assholes, too. They're like the worst of all worlds. You can tell I'm a Humu Humu hater. And that's what I'm calling it. I'll put this down for now. Just kind of relax. They were so close to calling it Homo Homo, which would have been even funnier. I could just imagine Twitter having an aneurysm over that one. Oh, we're getting fish. Hang on. Let's try sink them. That pulling down's the weight, by the way. That's not the fish. He's still biting. My favorite fish name is it's like a bony-eared ass fish or something like that. That's a great name for a fish. Fish is biting, but it's not taking. I'm just gonna see if it's on real fast. It might be a kokanee. Damn it, it got my worm. Well, the good news is this fish has learned that the worm is safe. It's good at rage baiting, yeah. Okay, let's drop this back down. I'm not going to worry about that. This fish is probably rage baiting me, I'm gonna be honest. Oh shit. There's a dinosaur that's name starts with the N word. And I'm surprised nobody's made an issue about it yet. You're right, they can't cancel dinosaurs. Could you imagine if you're like a dinosaur in heaven and like you can understand humans and you're like, why are they trying to cancel me? I didn't do shit. I didn't come up with a name. That'd actually be even funnier if it has like a really like progressive reason for being named that, like it was discovered by an African American or something like that and he was proud of it. You guys want to know a fun fact? An IT fun fact. You want to know why emails have a maximum file size of 20 megabytes? I don't know why I just thought of this. But it's because it takes roughly half an hour to send a 20 megabyte file on uninterrupted dial-up. And I thought half an hour would be too long to download email. So the protocol caps you at 20 megabytes. It might have been 4 hours. I can't remember. It's either half an hour or 4 hours. One of them was one of the protocols was half an hour, one of them was 4. I don't remember which one's which anymore. But it's like, we're at the point nowadays where that same email will download in like a tenth of a second on standard internet. And we still have that because it's baked into the original protocol. All right, I think Mr. Fish rage baited me successfully. So I'm gonna start heading back towards the car. Yeah, one of them is a floppy. You remember how much a floppy disk was? I think a floppy disk was less than 20 megabytes, though. I might be wrong about that. Because I remember floppy disks being tiny when I was a kid. And you needing like 4 of them to install a game. There's no way they were 25 kilobytes, boss. That 100% is capped because a Nintendo ROM from what's it called? The 1980s, the ROM files you had put on your NES were 56 kilobytes. And there's no way 1980s ROMs were larger than a floppy disk. Again, I could be wrong, I just refuse to believe that's true. And if I refuse to believe it's true, it's basically wrong, right? That's how life works. Oh, come on, turn, you stupid ass boat. There we go. I'm back in this damn wind pocket, though. It is, by the way, genuinely insane how much data you can store on like modern computers. Especially when you compare them to like old floppy disks. Oh, that's a good exercise. Whew. Well, if you want to know something super cool, the first computers used literal light bulbs as their transistors. So the way you would store memory is by keeping the light bulbs on and turning certain ones off. Oh, there's a couple of fire trucks going by. I hope everyone's okay. Brick-sized phones with antennas. Nah, those are cringe. I'll be a hater of those any day. You know those phones? I think I remember reading the specs on them where you had, and they were bragging about this, 30 minutes of call time, and the charge time only took a day. Could you imagine? Well, when you're using like literal light bulbs to store information, you're storing almost no information. Like they were using like 1 and 2 bit processors. Yeah, it really is amazing how far technology comes in general. I'm obviously not like any sort of tech expert or anything, but my personal belief is like, once we created technology that could help us create more technology, that's when things took off. Let's see if I have a big ball of gunk at the end of my rod again. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna hang this up. I'm just gonna kind of fish like this. Like low depth fishing. Oh, come on. Don't crash into the bugs though. And we'll just float alongside again. So it's effective-ish. I'm also going to be smart and turn on the fish finder. I brought it out here, I might as well use it. It's like the primal purpose for it. It's still not making me do the, what's it called? No puzzle, that's weird. Hello. Okay, good, my text-to-speech is working. I mean, I'm sure AI is going to be used to help with things like floating cars. I think AI is probably going to be bigger than the critics give it credit for, but not as big as like the enthusiasts give it credit for. I feel like there's going to be a lot of good uses for it, but the majority of actual compute is going to be spent on bad uses for it. That's just my intuition, though. Like, there's a lot of people learning to code because of AI. And in the beginning, they're going to be making slop. But those same people who are learning to code right now are going to be they're going to get better. And they're going to improve. And they're going to start becoming creative. And at the same time, the AI is also going to improve. Well, Adam, the way I see that is, here, I'll give you actually a similar kind of example, which GPUs. GPUs are essentially a portable supercomputer that are extremely energy efficient. They're like these huge modern marvels, extremely powerful devices. And the only reason we have GPUs is because people wanted to play computer games with better graphics. GPUs weren't created and funded for scientists. They were created by gamers to play Quake on their PC. And now that we have the technology, we can use it to do really powerful and impactful things. But that technology only came around because a bunch of, at the time, like turbo nerds were willing to spend money on it. And the only real use case at the time was to make their Quake game feel smoother. So, you know, if people are developing AI that's getting smarter and more conversational and able to reason and think through images, and they're funding all of that development and growth, I'm not going to necessarily question the purpose of their use yet. Now, that said, I do think there's a lot of bad uses for AI, and the pace of growth and how much investment into energy and resources there is like that part's a little bit more troubling for me, personally. But I personally believe, you know, given enough time and development, AI is going to help us. And it's not going to do it for us, by the way. It's going to help us to do really important things like cure cancer and fight climate change. And example, Helion's actually making a lot of progress using it with nuclear fusion. So ironically, the thing that's currently destroying the energy grid might also be the thing that saves it. I've caught a 8-inch rainbow and I hooked him. I hooked a tank, but he got off. I hooked probably in the ballpark of a 15 to 20-inch fish, most likely a brown. Yeah, the thing is, Adam, just because that makes logical sense doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Because what I'm basically saying is it's a trade-off. We're killing the environment now in hopes that we have a level of technology that makes it irrelevant. Or, you know, we're killing the environment right now in hopes that we discover something that's worth it to humanity. Like, again, like cure to aging, for example. It'd be really hard to argue that the electricity we're spending right now is not worth like a permanent cure to age-related disease, right? But we might not get that. And we might do far more damage to the environment than we're doing right now. And we might eventually do so much damage that even though we do get that huge payoff, it wasn't worth it. The thing I'm trying to tell you guys is to not think about things as good or bad or black and white, but to instead think about what price are you willing to pay for what could potentially come out of it. Hola, I caught a scoter one time. It's like a little duck thing. He tried to eat my herring and got tangled in the line, and I eventually had to reel him in and be like, "You big dummy," and let him go. Well, I mean, the thing about that, Adam, is we're not creating the environmental problems we're creating so that we have an environmental problem to solve. We're creating the environmental problems to solve other problems. Like the problems our grandparents and great-grandparents had are so radically different than the problems we have today because we solved all of their problems and created new ones in the process. Like there is a famine in the 1940s, I believe, that killed millions of people across India and similar countries because there wasn't enough fertilizer to feed the people and their crops ran dry. And pretty soon after that, we invented a way to make fertilizer out of the air we breathe. And we've never had that kind of famine again. But because we're now making artificial, fertilizers, growing far more food than we need, and, you know, having a world of abundance where people don't starve to death outside of like war-torn countries, we also created the problem of pesticides in rivers and algae blooms in oceans. And then we actually solved, in many cases, those algae bloom problems recently. And now we're looking at other things. But if you were to ask me, you know, say we didn't solve the algae problem, would we rather have occasional algae blooms that kill reef fish, or would we rather have tens of millions of people in the world starving to death each year? I'll take the algae blooms. You know what I mean? Well, the potato famine was caused by something else. Basically, what happened in Ireland was that they only had one species of potato. And so when a fungus came around that was really effective against that one species of potato, there was no biodiversity. And so all the potato crops failed. A similar thing happened to bananas in the 50s, but since it wasn't like a primary food, it got a lot less coverage, and there is obviously a lot less destruction as a result. But that's part of the reason why the US has things like grain reserves and seed vaults. And our seed vaults don't typically store the most common type of seed. They typically store like the second and third most common types of seeds, with obviously some of the main varieties as well. And the whole point of that is, let's say there is a wheat blight that hits North America and starts wiping out all the wheat. We can open up our grain reserves to feed the people and then distribute those other species of wheat seeds that are not going to be as affected by the blight, and then we can keep eating. And again, like a lot of these things are just people way smarter than me thinking about the worst case scenario that could happen and then prepping for it. And I'm really glad they do that, so I don't have to starve to death in my 50s when, I don't know, grass virus 2.0 comes around. Shadow, you can't. Because you don't know what the virus is going to be. It's like the same reason we can't have a vaccine for the flu until enough people get sick with the flu that we know how to make the vaccine. And then if you are in a famine situation, you theoretically could grow a round of wheat, and then when it's mature, you know, test the virus on it, or whatever it is, the mold, the mildew, the bacteria, whatever's killing it. But if it works, you're now 8 to 10 weeks behind on growing, and everybody's hungry. And if it doesn't work, you're back at square one. It's much better to just plant the seeds now. If it works, you're good, everybody's fed. And if it doesn't work, you're in exactly the same situation you were in. Oh! Come to Papa. Did it break? Oh, fuck you. That was a big fish. That is so cringe. God damn it. I just lost a big boy. I wonder what that was. That broke it. That broke a 6-pound connection. Here, Well, I don't have a weight anymore. Yeah, just something to keep in mind, Shadow. I am not an expert on these topics. So don't take anything I say as truth. Because I could be completely wrong about these kind of topics. I'm gonna go see if the fish is snagged somewhere, because I might be able to get him. He has a really heavy weight on him. And I actually do have... I have a wetsuit under. So if he's snagged, I can actually get him. How is every stream a side quest? You're following Central Oregon fishing. It will be kind of hard to dive down for him, though. I feel like he took the lure and then dove and just got snagged, and my boat, the force of the boat broke it. So he might actually be still here. It's a long shot, but it's possible. I'm also gonna run out of GoPro soon. How much longer do I even have on my camera? 37 minutes. Okay. Around here somewhere. I don't see him. Yeah, I don't see the fish anywhere. Yeah, learning how to make food's a pretty reliable career path. Because no matter how good technology gets, we all need to eat. I don't see this fucking fish. Oh well. I'm pretty close to the car, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dock. I'm gonna go grab, what's it called? Another lure, another weight. And then what do you guys think? Should I just restart my camera? Oh shit. Oh, Estonia's cool. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you're a big Ari Mati fan. Who fan? Is a comedian. From everything I heard, whenever he goes back home to Armenia, he's like the super celebrity there. But that might just be in like the stand-up comedy world. You just missed me lose a big fish. He's talking about countries where the male population is all leaving for jobs, while the women tend to stay in their home countries. So there's like not very many men. Whew.
Yeah, Finland's pretty based, I'm gonna be honest. Ivan, Brooke's uncle, lives out in Norway. That's a pretty cool spot. Ooh. Hey Shadow, do they learn to speak Finnish and stuff, or do they just kind of like stay Estonian? I'm really curious about those kinds of like cultural things. Whew. All right. Well, that was a fun day. You know, I genuinely had a ton of fun today. No cap. This was great. Man, I cannot wait to take this thing on the ocean. Got a new wetsuit, new shoes coming. What a great fucking way to just chill. Get some exercise. And we caught a fish too. You know, all things considered. Here we go. Whew. No one hates the French more than the French. I will admit, it is pretty funny to hate on the French. Like, I am a big fan of shit-talking the French. Not French people, just like the French generally. It's getting later in the day. I'm gonna stay on the stream while I wrap up everything. And I'll cast these worms out with like a rock as a weight. That way we still have a chance of getting something. But I am gonna at least take apart the boat and everything. I mean, if the snails taste good, the snails taste good. If the snails don't taste good, then I'm a hater. But generally speaking, I think most things, if you give them a try. Like there's foods that are gross, like crickets, for example. It's really weird to eat your first cricket, but after you eat a couple crickets, they're just crickets, and they're tasty. And if other people don't want to eat the crickets because of some conspiracy theory, that means this is more crickets for me. Or frogs. In Oregon, you're allowed, there's an invasive species of frog that you can catch and eat. They're pretty tasty. No bag limit, no season limit. And don't even get me started on crayfish. Crayfish are so good. And people just give the crayfish shit. Even things like worms. Like, I wouldn't eat worms for fun. They don't taste very good. But they're not terrible. I've had worse things. And then on stream, I'll eat worm as like a shock value thing. But I'm dead serious. They're not that bad. Yeah, there we go. And that's just going to be our little fish. We have an opportunity to get some free fish, so we're going to take it. All right, what was I talking about? Mic's broken for a minute. Okay. Should all reconnect now? Fuck you. Oh, come on. Why are you having fun? You can do it. Fucking Engine X, bro. Can you work? Can you work? Yay, you can work. Okay, beautiful. Alright, just gonna make sure this returns. Gonna make sure we have a network. And things are not so bad. Gonna reconnect to the remote access point. Doo-doo-doo, we're back. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, chat. I unplugged the... what's it called? I unplugged the goddamn satellite antenna when moving it. All right, let's get everything out of here. We're not gonna need you anymore. So plug the fish finder. Pop up, and up you go. It's probably the single heaviest thing in this goddamn boat, I believe it or not. I'm genuinely curious how far I paddled, by the way. Speaking of which, this is actually a genuine question. Anyone in chat can answer it. How do you anchor above a reef in something like this? Because I feel like if I just drop a standard like anchor, it's just going to get snagged in the reef and be a real pain in the ass to unhook. And I do know you anchor to a float, by the way. You don't have to instruct me on that. So like, essentially, if anyone wonders what that means, you throw the anchor down, you have like a floating buoy, and you tie the kayak to the buoy instead of the anchor. And that prevents like waves from screwing you over. But I don't know how to get that anchor point nice and safe and secure. Oh, you're joking. I had this the whole time. Shit, I had a whole nother spinner. And then I didn't actually have to come back in. No, I don't have a weight. What am I talking about? It's full of gas today. What else needs to come out? These need to come out. This needs to come out. Like, are there specialized anchors that let you park over a reef? Or are you just kind of SOL? Because you guys saw, the wind kind of blows this boat around. So if I'm going to be out on the open ocean for potentially a couple hours, and the wind's going to be stronger on the ocean, I don't want to be like just, you know, shoved around the whole time. I don't know what you mean by rope it on the bridge. If you mean for like anchoring by a bridge, I guess that works. But I mean, I want to take this thing out to like the reefs offshore. That's the whole reason I got it. Good old Hawaii days. Oh, shit. You motherfucker. I had a fucking paddle. That would have been a better idea. Where'd it go? Man, fuck that. That was cringe. That was lame. It's way too deep for me to go swim after it. I'll see if it's standard size and order a new one, but that was fucking lame. Well, I learned something today at the very least. Honestly, a kind of funny lesson. And not the worst one. Come on. Come on, I'll pull over. Thank you. Just try this for a bit. I'm gonna move this down to the middle. You're wondering what those audio glitches are? I can't be too far away from this thing when it's in a plastic bag for the Bluetooth microphone. That's why the audio sometimes kind of freaks out. I'm gonna stick it on here. Should be nice and stable. That was a pretty stupid way to lose the thing, though. Just like the comically slow sinking of it, too, just to add insult to injury. What? You know, all things considered, it's always better to be the fisherman than the fish, no matter how bad your day is.
matter how many dumb things like that you do. It's back separate. You guys want me to skip the music? Annoying. I don't know what you're talking about by your amazing view, by the way. Just see, did my amazing view popped up? I don't know. Well, at least, you know, there's always a little silver lining. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Always positives to life. The fin doesn't fit in that, and it was really frustrating to like pack up. Oh, and now I don't have to worry about that. By the way, once I bring the last of the stuff back, I'm gonna end the stream, because then I'm gonna have to go get my car and really wish I got that big fish, the second one. The third one didn't seem that big. I think the third one just snagged the weight while I was moving. And that's why the line broke. I don't think that fish was strong enough to break the line. But that second one, that fighty one, that felt like a good fish. What is it? Hold up, Shadow. What is the MK diamond earring incident? I'm gonna go on a limb and say Kim Kardashian dropped like an earring into a lake or some bullshit like that. But also, I guarantee if she did that,
There was a diver there the next day pulling the earring out and trying to sell it to her. Versus in my case, I'm just gonna go home and see if any of the fins I have in my shed fit this. And they probably will. It seems like it's a standard fin. I like to ride my paddleboard over things that absolutely should not be ridden over. Like, if you guys know Bend, there's like this whitewater park where people raft. And then they have like this one section where people take their like kayaks to go practice going over like little falls, but it's really safe. And I take my paddleboard down it and I try to stand as long as possible on these giant, like, well, I mean, they're giant for a paddleboard. They're like 3 or 4 foot falls. It's just, I've done it. I've done every single fall in the park at least once. And I've done 3 of them in a row. But I've never done all 4 of them while standing on the board. Like, I've done them all individually, just not... The closest I got was doing the big one, failing the one that people surf, and then getting the last 2. I've also failed the first one and finished the last 3. But never just like, never sweep. It's on my... This is how you can also drain this section. Then we drain this section. There we go. All right. Ladies, gentlemen, anyone in between, thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful Saturday. It was a pleasure being able to entertain you for like, what is it, 4 hours now? I don't fucking know. But I'm hungry. I got places to be. Actually, I don't have anywhere to be. You'll probably see me tonight. Anyway. Thank you all. Brooke is asking for cookie dough ice cream. Yeah, 3 hours, 54 minutes. That was one of my longer streams, I'm gonna be honest. I think this might be the longest, like, totally remote stream. And of course, my hands are too wet to end it. It's this stupid rain. There we go. Remote in. Remote access. Piano night again? Nah.